Hello and welcome back, guys. This is Ibrahim Qureshi here, and we are continuing this session on how to configure a server with nagios, a client server with nagios server for monitoring. So this is my nagios server, and you can see I have got quite a lot of hosts here configured, and we are going to do a session now where we are going to add the new server which I just installed, the NRP agent and the plugins on, and the video you might have seen that already. So this basically is the continuation session. If you haven't seen that session, be sure to check it out, and that will show you how to install the NRP agent 3.0.2 and also how to install the plugins. Okay, and that is on the Debian version of Debian flavor. So yeah, so let's get started without any delay. So I'm on my nagios server, and this is where we left everything. So let's quickly go back and check whether I am able to get any response. So I'm not able to get any response from my server because I have uncommented it. So first thing first, you need to make sure you are able to allow the communication from your nagios server. So for that, I'm going to allow my nagios server IP, which is this one, and I'm going to whitelist that. Actually, we need to give don't think we need to give a space, but let's do that. So I have whitelisted that IP now, and I'm going to check the service again, and it's still blocked. So what are we going to do now? We need to restart the nagios service, NRP service on the client side. So service NRPE restart, and then we can check the status, and the alerts are gone, and it says allowing connection to this one now. Yeah, so that's good. So we are going to start on the server. So all the core files, I'm going to cat this file nagios.readme. So there are certain files you need to remember when you're working with nagios core specifically, and the mail files are here, and the messages are here. The log files where nagios basically goes and checks everything are nagios.log and user local nagios var logs. Now all the configuration files are here. From at least this is how I have configured my machine, my nagios server. So the configuration files for the nagios is itself nagios.config. there's an objects folder, and there's a host folder, services folder. I have created a new folder for Windows servers only. I have created a new folder for VMware only, and I spoke about the commands which you can run remotely by creating shell scripts or something. So that is basically configured in objects, and commands.cfg is the file. So that's all it is basically, and email gets generated from this particular file as well. Okay, so we are predominantly going to create a new host, which is the new host which we installed the NRP agent and the plugin, and then we are going to go and create a file and add services. Now the easiest way I would suggest you to do, I'm going to create a blog post around this because it's a huge topic, and it's a really interesting topic which you guys can set up your own monitoring server. I will put some of the sample files on how to create the host and how to create the services config file as well. All the files which you create in here are going to have configs.cfg extension. Now one important thing you need to remember is basically when you are connecting to the nagios server, you need to whenever you're making any changes to the nagios server, you need to rerun this command and check whether everything is running okay. And all the changes which you are going to do, you need to make sure you basically restart the nagios service to make those changes first, and then you can run these commands to check whether there are any configuration errors or any issues which you have on your server. So let's start by that. Before even we get started, let's check whether we have any configuration errors in our current setup. Okay, and you can see there's 0 warnings and 0 errors. So it has got 123 services, 15 hosts configured. So next time when we reconfigure our host, you'll see that will be instead of 15 it will be 16 hosts there, 8 host groups. Okay, so it gives you a configuration idea what you have got running, and the main thing is we are going to add another host and obviously a bunch of more services to monitor along with that. Okay, so let's get started. So what we'll be doing is we will be going to this location, nagios local and etc directory, user / local / nagios / etc directory, and in here we have, oops, I forgot to give cd there. In here we have all the folders which I have just talked about, you know, the host folder where we are going to create a new host, the services folder where we are going to create services. Now as I said, I'm going to, as promised, I'm going to give some samples of these files. If you check, I have a lot of servers which I'm monitoring, and you can see it here. These are all fake names created, so obviously don't get too excited. It's only for monitoring, it's only for the purpose of this demo. But what we are going to do is we are going to use one of this file which I'm going to quickly show you now, and we are going to modify it to create a new config for our new server. So say for example I'm going to use this, so I will cp this and then create a new file. Let's say I will call it dev. Okay, and that's simple as it is, creating a file. Now once the file is created, what we can do is we can go in and edit it. So we need to add the IP address and everything for this particular server. So what we are going to do, is we are going to edit this file and we are going to add an IP address for our server which we want to monitor. So this is simple as that. We can just give an alias here. Let's call it so let's get started and get this configured. Let's go into this file and we are going to create a host name. So I'm going to copy this file first. So let's get started and create this now. So I'm going to copy this file name. I'm going to keep this as a server name, obviously, although that's not the server name itself, but nevertheless we will delete all this. The host name is going to be called dev, and we can say that this is a dev server, so alias can be anything, right? So we can just say dev server. Okay, then I need the IP of this server, so I need to give this command to find the public IP. And that's my public IP. So in the address we will say that this is the IP, and this is how it is. Basically it's simple as, that's how simple it is. You don't need quotations here, we just need to give the IP address. Okay, so we are nearly done. Nice. So that's one thing done. So if you cat this file, you'll see this is created successfully. So cd dot dot, go back to the main folder. You'll see all the objects again. Go to the services folder now, because we need to create tell nagios to monitor the services for this server. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to copy the main server file again, and I'm going to call it this one. I'm going to go and replace this file with the right details. So over here in this file we are not going to give a name or anything. All we are going to give is the dev name. So this is a quick hack, well, quick way to instead of writing, going to the host name each time and then pasting the name like this, what you can do is you can search and replace this. To do that we need to do colon %s / the old name. Okay, so the old name was obviously, as you see here, secondary -b .ppx .v cloudxi.com, and then / and the new name. So if I hit enter, you need to be sure that the spelling is correct. secondary -b .ppx.v cloudxi. If you hit enter, it'll say it has replaced 11, or how many times it has it on this file, 13 substitutions. So you can see it has replaced it 13 times. Now just to go through a little bit in this file, because this is a massive file, right? You can see a lot of stuff and information here. So this file has this file basically goes and asks the nagios server to go and get the configuration for ping. Well, go and check whether it is pinging first of all, right? And then it will go and check the services. So it's going to check whether the root partition has enough disk space, and it's going to alert when it is 10%. Disk space is going low to 10%, and it's going to give a warning, and it's going to give a critical alert when it is 10, warning at 20, sorry, and critical alert at 10%. And the same goes to everything else which goes here. So we are checking on here, we are checking local user disk spaces, and then going further you have other stuff here. So yeah, these are you can easily find out what it is when you go on and check. This is just checking whether SSH is enabled or not, whether it's working or not, and this is checking whether the web server is running okay or not, HTTPD, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and if you don't want any, you can just comment them out and leave them. Okay, so let's save and exit this. You will need to restart the service of Nagios. Let's restart the service. Before that, I'm going to show you the command what we need to run to check the services. I think it's in the root directory. I have this nagios readme file. So that is the command you need to run to check all the services are okay or not. You can run that and check, so everything is okay. Now restart services, service, nagios, restart. So that's a good sign, and that's a good sign. Now we will go and check our Nagios server, tactical overview. Check the hosts first. We should see a dev host coming in shortly. There you go. Dev host is populated here, and everything is pending. So it's basically pulling request. You can see the Nagios core server is monitored here. Yeah, and you can see my FreeNAS is monitored here. So this is basically pulling everything now, and it is going to basically refresh, and it is going to say which services are okay and which are not. So we need to give it some time. There are going to be 3 attempts for everything. So after first 3 attempts, then it will say okay, it's everything is good and it's working fine. This site is going to automatically refresh after a couple of seconds, and this dashboard also gives you how many services are up. 15, 1 is pending. So this will, again, once it is up and running, it will say 16 hosts, as I was saying in the beginning of the video. So it's going to have 16. So let's go back to the services again. So there you go, it's gone red and critical. Current load is okay, so you're getting some greens. Check host live, gone critical for some reason. And this service is gone offline, so it's gone unknown. That's fine. I need to do some work. So as far as I understand, this service I need to configure. This is a custom service which I'm monitoring, so I need to configure some shell scripts in the background to make it work, but everything else should go green in a couple of minutes. So you can go back again to services. You can go back to host and see these are all the hosts, and this one is down. It says it's down because it's just been added. And then we can go back here again and check. Could be also another problem that my firewall is not allowing it, but we'll find out in a minute. So it's coming back okay so far. I think the firewall is allowing it, but we can try some commands from the command line from the Nagios server and check. Do I have it here? No. Yeah, we can try this command. to get the public IP as well. Get rid of the quotes. Not defined. So yeah, it's talking. Also we have other commands like telnet to check whether port is allowed to talk or not, like this. See, that means it's talking. That's good news. Yeah, let's come back and see how the monitoring is looking now. There you go, it has got HTTP is okay now, so it's still pending on ping and other ones. So that's basically it, guys. So that's how nice and easy you can add those servers which you do not have any monitoring. Now my nagios server I have set up, well, I set it up with postfix, which is a mail client, and it basically sends out emails to me whenever a service goes down or it goes unknown state or something like that. So you can go to the events and check what it is trying to do in the background. This is the log file which I was talking about earlier, where you can cat and check it. So it's trying to ping now to this dev server, and it's checking. Also you can check the notifications if it's sending emails. So it says notified service by email to Arshad and nagios admin. So the all these are emails going out when it is going down. And again, this is critical. You can see I had my lab crashed. One of the ESX crashed the other day, yesterday, and I had quite a few servers which were down. There you go. So no, there was only one server running on that host, I think, the domain controller, and it went down, and I got email alerts for that. You can see that. And then obviously when it came back online, that basically goes back to green. You don't see those alerts anymore. But if you can go and check events, I guess you'll see those alerts going in. It was November, yeah, no, it was 5th of November, isn't it? So we need to go back a lot to search, I guess. This is the daily log, so maybe it doesn't have much information there. Anyway, so but this is a really good application, and you can see ping is still critical, but you can see the root partition is okay, and you have got a lot of disk free. It's showing you in MB, and see what else has come back. So SSH is okay, so obviously we are using SSH, as you know, so that's a good that it is showing what services are coming back. Okay, that's all for today, folks. So you can check out my channel if you need more on nagios. Let me know. I have actually created this as an appliance, so to be honest, I can give it to anyone and they can just start using and editing the config files and deploy it on their VMware environment or any other environment which you have. I guess VMware environment, because it's deployed on VMware. I can create a OVA file and OVF file, and I have deployed it on my environment, and I can pretty much export it as an appliance, like, you know, my custom made appliance, which is Agile Ops network monitoring appliance, really, for monitoring your environment. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I think when I was configuring this nagios server, I think I spent around about a week to learn it and install it, and then it took me some time to get the email notification working. But in honesty, there are only 2 files you configure, and then you can create dashboards as well, which you can have cool dashboards like service dashboards, and you can see it's automatically added to this VoIP dashboard. And you can see that it is I have a dashboard here for my lab, so I have my FreeNAS, and then the vCenter and the ESX host here. pretty much there now. Let's go to hosts. So we can also create cool dashboards, as you can see here, and we can see which like I can have this. There's also a Windows based agent which you can install on Windows Server to monitor from Nagios. So I have got a couple of Windows servers, my jump box and my Windows server, AD server here. So there's a lot we can do here. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this session. So I have this dashboard which shows exactly how things are. If there are any alerts coming up, you can easily identify it. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and let me know if you want me to do a full session on how to install Nagios core from scratch and get it running. Thanks, bye.